Welcome back to PPR Hotlaps. This is Kermit, and this week we are in Italy at Monza as we come down the main straight, across the finish line and into the DRS activation zone, a long run down into turn 1. Turn 1, the first part of a tricky right to left-hander. A little bit of the apex on turn 2. Getting the traction down as fast as you possibly can into turn 3. Keep the throttle wide open all the way through the exit, and then run down to turn 4 for the second chicane of the day. Clip both apexes, get the throttle down. Roll the car through turn 6 in 4th gear. Roll the car through turn 7 in 4th gear. DRS activation with a long run down to turn 8, 9, and 10. Also known as the Ascari chicane, keeps it to the right, throws it in left, carrying as much speed as he possibly can, rides on the apex, turn 9 for as long as possible, till clipping the apex on turn 10 on the way out. All the way down for the long run down to turn 11, also known as Parabolica. Hard on the brakes around the 50-meter board. Down to 4th and then back up on the way out. Running as wide as you possibly can on the exit, and across the finish line. And now let's take a look at the setup used for that hot lap. I have a relatively low downforce package with a 1 on the front wing and a 5 on the rear wing for those high-speed straights at Monza. On the differential adjustment on the throttle, we have 60%, and differential off the throttle at 70% for those long straights. For the suspension geometry, we have a lot of negative camber at the front, minus 2.5 and minus 2 at the rear. Front toe is only at 5.05 degrees and rear is at 0.2 degrees. Suspension. We have 1 on the front, a very soft suspension to help you through those corners. On the rear suspension, a little bit firmer with a 3. Front anti-roll bar at 11, rear anti-roll bar at 9, front and rear ride height both at 2. For the brakes, we have a medium pressure set at 83% and the front brake bias at 54%. And lastly, we have the tires with 23 psi at the front and 21.5 psi at the back. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for the PPR Hot Lap.